How's it going, guys? It's Cole from See-Through Panel showing off All Against All by Alex Paknadel, Casper Wijngaard, and Hassan Otsmani Al-How, published by Image Comics and retailing for $17 US. It's a 5-issue mini-series. Before I get too deep into it, I'm not going to be spoiling anything too crazy. I'm just going to be talking roughly about the themes and the plot, showing off some of the art. I'm going to be going through a lot of the book visually, not talking about the story or anything, just showing off the artworks. If you're worried about being visually spoiled, maybe read it first, come back after. So this book is written by Alex Paknadel. I'll give you the credits here. Art and colors by Casper Wijngaard. Just art in general by Casper. Letters by Hassan Otsmani Al-How. Overall, a sci-fi book dealing with kind of the elements of transhumanism, what it means to be human, what it means to be family through this lens of this sci-fi race of, I guess, amphibious, like, parasites. So they're able to latch onto other things and control them and take over their brains, and that's how they live their life with these bodies that they take over, and they end up manufacturing these bodies, and they're star-faring people, and this is far into the future for their race. And so they're at war with another race that does not matter to the plot. It's just in the background. And our main character has kind of like a, how do you say, like he controls an ecosystem that is from Earth. So he's taking the remnants of Earth and trying to like manufacture new bodies to fight in this war. So he's got a gorilla, he's got a little baby human, he's got bears and stuff like that, and he's basically just trying to manufacture a new body for his people to use, to mass produce, and to take to war to fight. And what the story really becomes about is his relationship with the human child in the ecosystem, and his relationship with his own daughter, how they differ, how they're alike in those two relationships, which is his most true child. Does he owe more to this ecosystem, or does he owe more to his people? And is the work they do ethical, hurting these things to see how they work, hurting animals to see how they tick, and just see what makes them function, and then eventually, mass producing them to then create a bunch of essentially skin suits for his people who look, well, this is a dead one. Basically, it looks like the top half of a human skull with like a bunch of tentacles coming out the bottom is what his race actually looks like. I'll be able to get a picture of it here soon. There it is. So they originated into oceans, so they were aquatic life, but adapted through taking over other bodies. Plot-wise, Alex Paknadel, I hope I'm saying that right, kills it. I think this book is very, very intricately plotted, but also extremely well-paced, so it doesn't ever seem overly complicated. The plot's very concise. The dialogue is short. Everything is exactly how you need it to consume a story that is efficient in almost every way. The art by Casper Wijngaard is insanely gorgeous. I love his art. I own several books by him. This is really the first I'm getting to. Beautiful stuff. I need to read that book he did with Kieran Gillen that I actually have it. I just haven't read it yet. Neon, vibrant colors. Play of light is awesome. I love when he does these backgrounds around his characters. Almost like the color is plated out and he's just like got these backgrounds around him. I'll be able to show more of that. See, outlines, just tons of outlines around everything. Really keeps a very distinct image, so it's really easy to look at, but there's also a ton of detail when you look further in. Truly just beautiful, beautiful art, and it's awesome that he does his own colors and inking or whatever. He's probably digital, so all that is kind of the same thing, but really gorgeous stuff, and I think works really in service to the story. I think it's kind of a very cohesive package. Here's one of them latching onto a wolf. And I think the story as a whole just really works well together. As I said, it's very cohesive. I think the very vibrant, bright art with a ton of color on the page kind of plays off of what is a fairly action-packed story, but most of the time is going to just be heavy dialogue and very thematic. This book has a lot to say that is kind of philosophical, I think, although it is an action-y book. A lot of the weight is carried through dialogue and through actions that aren't necessarily combative or physical. And I think that's super interesting. I love the interplay between all the characters. I almost would say there isn't a main character. Bate is our, or Bate, whatever you want to say it, is our kind of intro character, if you have to pick a main character, it's obviously him, but I think everyone here is of equal import. Even what you would normally consider side characters play a ridiculously important role in this book. And it's just quite impressive how well put together this whole book is. 5-issue miniseries, you can read it in one sitting, and you definitely will if you're really interested in it. I just kind of crushed this thing in one sitting. Really, really interesting stuff. Beautiful to look at. Thought-provoking. Fast-paced. Just kind of a complete package in terms of a sci-fi story. Kind of right where I'm at right now. I'm consuming a lot of sci-fi. I'm listening to sci-fi audiobooks. I'm playing sci-fi games. I just thought this might be kind of the perfect thing for me right now, and it really was. It kind of just is everything I love about sci-fi, where it's so exotic and strange with this fantasy race that we don't know anything about initially. You learn a bunch of lore on them, where they started, what their current conditions are, how they operate. But it's about being human, essentially, and how it rubs off on these characters and yeah. What it is to love, what it is to feel familial love, and yeah, it's awesome. The variant covers for this were just stacked, by the way. Jacob Phillips there. James Stokoe. So this is going to be a pretty short one, but nothing but good things to say about All Against All. 5 issues, $17 trade paperback. You can get it for much cheaper than that. I just hit my camera, but it's fine. I would heavily recommend it. I think it is probably one of the best books I'm going to be reading this year. I hope I can show it off on my end of the year list in the early 2025. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace.